Writing your first song is like climbing a ladder. You've got to take one rung at a time. And once you can get to the top, you can look down and admire the view of your whole song. The problem is, if you're not careful, you can climb to the top too quickly, miss a rung and fall. This can stop you from ever writing a song. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the big secret to writing your first song. I'll show you how simple songwriting can be, and that anyone can do this, regardless of talent or musical ability. Welcome in, my name's Matt, and on this channel I help people to write their first song. Paul McCartney's mother Mary died when he was just 14 years old in 1956. As such, she never got to see her son perform with the Beatles. 12 years later, in 1968, the band are on the verge of breaking up and are in a tense period surrounding the session for their 9th studio album, The Beatles, also known as the White Album. During this time, Paul had a dream about his mum, in which she said to him, "It'll be alright, just let it be." Paul used this phrase to start writing the song Let It Be on the piano the next day. Stories like this are commonly written about famous songwriters, with songs seemingly appearing out of nowhere in moments of divine inspiration. As such, many people believe that only a special few are able to write great songs, and that ideas just arrive out of the blue, fully formed in life-changing events like Paul experienced. In reality, this isn't true, or more accurately, it's extremely rare. Most songs take time to write and develop. This can be really quick on occasions, which does sometimes make it feel like the song has come fully formed into your mind. But what isn't talked about are the years of work and craft that have got a person to that point. Whether you know it or not, you are subconsciously drawing on experience when you write a song. So for many famous songwriters, including Paul McCartney, they have thousands of hours of songwriting under their belt, which have shaped the ability to quickly write songs. As a beginner, you don't have this history of writing songs to apply to your latest work. So don't be hard on yourself if it feels like writing songs is more difficult than the stories you hear about some of the greats. Songwriting is a craft, and as such, it requires 3 Ps. Mastering these 3 things will make you the best possible songwriter you can be, but it's often easier said than done. They are practice, patience, and persistence. Patience is a fairly obvious requirement, but what are you meant to practice in order to write better songs? The short answer is completing songs. But what's the best way to do this if you've never written a song before? The solution is having a clear and simple process. If we break down what goes into writing a song, then you have something that can be followed and repeated. The process I suggest beginners follow is writing the chords for your song first, then write the melody, and finally the lyrics if you need them. The reason for following this order will become apparent once I outline it a bit further. I go into more detail about this in a video I'll link at the end, but this will get you started when thinking about writing your first song. Start with the chords. Chords are the building blocks of songs and can instantly provide a certain feel and structure. They are also one of the first things that people learning to play the guitar and piano will be taught. As such, they give us a beginner-friendly framework to begin with. Now the big question arrives. What chords do I play? Well, you may have heard of something called a key. You can think of a key as a group of related chords that sound good when played with each other. For your first song, I suggest trying the key of C major. It uses guitar and piano-friendly chords that are easy to play. You can always get more adventurous once you have some experience. You can see the chords in the key of C major on screen. You'll see that there are 7 of them, and each one is labelled with a Roman numeral from 1 to 7. Chords get played in sequences known as chord progressions. You can take any of the 7 chords in a key and play them after one another in any order you like to create a progression. But to make life easier, there are some basic progressions which get used over and over again. This is where the Roman numerals are useful. They indicate the function of the chord in any major key. This means you'll often see progressions written just as Roman numerals. You can then use them in any key that you like. Some good progressions to start with include 1-4-5-1. 1-5-6-4. 2-5-1. Once you have some chords, the next part of the process is to write the melody. The reason for this is that you can use notes from the chords to construct a tune. This makes the melody and chords work well together and is a great way to quickly write pleasing songs. If you want some more tension or interest in your melodies, then mix in some additional notes that aren't in the chord. If this all sounds a bit confusing, then I suggest using a tool called HookPad to help you out. HookPad is a musical sketchpad which has music theory built in. It makes it really simple to write, save and share song ideas. It's perfect for beginners or people who don't play an instrument. There's a link in the description if you want to try out HookPad for free today. HookPad will give you all of the notes in your chords and also show you additional notes you can try out for your melodies. The video at the end of this will guide you through the process. Then once you've got a melody worked out, you can write some lyrics if your song requires it. Lyrics can be a real sticking point for many songwriters, even more experienced ones. The best approach that I've found that is easy to complete is as follows. Set a timer for at least 10 minutes. Grab a pen and paper and just write down everything that comes into your mind. Turn off any filter or judgment and just get words onto the page. Then once the timer ends, have a look at what you've written. Highlight any words or phrases that stand out and see if you can come up with a theme or possible title for the song. If you've sketched out in HookPad, then loop the music and see if you can work your words into your melody. This will allow you to easily finish your songs. You might not like the end result, but this is a starting point for your songwriting and something you can refine over time. Having a simple process like this is powerful because it means that you will finish writing more songs. And the more songs you finish, the better you'll get at songwriting. Remember that finished is better than perfect at this stage. This is where I believe that quantity is better than quality. When you're new to learning something, you just need to get as many repeats in as possible. This allows you to make mistakes and try different things out. Then when you start to become more confident in your abilities, you can focus more on quality or finding your unique edge and style. With time, this will get you to the point that Paul McCartney was in when writing Let It Be. When inspiration strikes, you'll be able to draw upon your skill gained by writing all of those bad songs, and fully formed songs will flow out of you. One thing you probably don't want to do up a ladder is kiss, but this is the big secret for writing your first song. Keep it simple, stupid. Throughout all of this video, I've shown you that simplicity is key, not only for writing your first song, but for being able to write songs that you can learn from. This is the secret to great songwriting. Keeping things simple is always the best approach. Some of the greatest songs ever written are simple, but underlying simplicity is experience and thought. If you keep things simple with your songwriting, you'll never go wrong. The problem is writing simple songs can be more difficult than it looks. I outlined some of the process here, but there is more to learn in order to finish your first few songs. I cover all of the steps you need to follow to write simple songs in the video on screen. Watch that next to begin your new musical story.